So I'm in my 50th year. I believe that this is key to achieving everything that we still want to achieve. I mean, we're going nowhere. We've only just begun. I think sometimes we mistake complexity for expertise. That's the irony. The whole point in making this little garden was that so that I could grow things that wouldn't be eaten, and I leave the door open. I wasn't cross, I was disappointed in myself. I'm going to change the colour of it, and I wanted to ask your opinion on what colour it should be. I think one of the wickedest things that the ultra-processed food industry has done is to dull our taste buds.
Acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for
Hello, how are you? Starting this week with some sad news, actually. There's been, I don't know whether death is too dramatic, perhaps more of a mauling. Certainly a feast has been had. Let me show you. This is my David Austin Rambler. Once covered in roses and leaves, it's now been stripped of everything. So what happened here was last Sunday I popped into this garden and showed you the battering that the rose had taken during the storms the previous evening. And I forgot to shut the little door to this garden. Yeah, and a deer got in. And I didn't see it until the next day. I've had a few days to think about it. And I'm just really annoyed with myself. I was very tired that day and I was distracted, I think. That's what it was. I've been religious about shutting the door to this space. I mean, the whole... that's the irony. The whole point in making this little garden was that so that I could grow things that wouldn't be eaten, and I leave the door open. It's raining, so I've come back up here. It's nice, actually. It's quite warm. You can sort of hear the rain, so it's quite gentle and calming. It's lovely. I mean, I've calmed down after the Rose massacre, obviously. I was just like sort of, I wasn't cross, I was disappointed in myself. It stopped raining, so I'm back under my tree again. I've got a friend coming over for lunch. They will have eaten. So I said I would just do some little bits for lunch, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going, because I've got a little bit of time now, I'm going to show you them as recipes. But it's not like a full meal or anything. So hopefully you'll like them and you can incorporate them into your summer menu type thing. In fact, I just picked some ferns. Well, the leaves of some ferns. We've got so many of them here in the garden. And I just thought I'd do another table, like a white and green tails from the table. I'm doing lots of them at the minute because we've had such amazing weather. Can't be inside when it's lovely. So I might do a white and green one. But I wanted to move on from the ravaging of my rose because I also have some really good news and a question. I feel like I'm asking a lot of you today. But yeah, I wanted to share about the decimation of my rose. And I want to ask your opinion on something. But first, I have this. So we have a name and we have a launch date for the community that I've wanted to create. Next Sunday, so mark your calendars, I'll be opening the doors to the Homebody Companion Club. Inspired by you and how we all made ourselves so seen to each other a couple of weeks ago. This is me wanting to preserve that and build upon it and not have it held hostage to an algorithm. So the main focus is to avoid overwhelm. So this isn't about adding more to anyone's plate. It's about restoring balance gently and nourishing ourselves from the inside out, which I believe, so I'm in my 50th year, but I believe that this is key to achieving everything that we still want to achieve. I mean, we're going nowhere. We've only just begun. So each month in the Homebody Companion, you will receive a bundle. It is built around 4 pillars. This, again, has been structured, and I've taken advice on this because I wanted this to be just so powerful. Each week, you will receive part of the bundle, and this is to avoid the overwhelm. So you won't be drowning in content that you feel you have to go through. You can just take it week by week, and it can be a weekly episode just for you. Beautifully simple steps to feeling calmer, creating comfort, connecting authentically, not only with yourself, but with us as well. Because there'll be a community there where we can talk and chat and meet, but it's harnessed around living seasonally. I mean, can you imagine Christmas? It's built around 4 pillars, mini retreat experiences. Of course, have a homebody, homemaking pillar that really keys into nurturing home. I think it's clear if you spend time with me on here that home and nurturing your home is important to you. We find solace in pottering. We care about our space, no matter what time of life we're in. This is one I'm really excited about. So it'll be seasonal decor and styling tips, pottering prompts, home rituals, printouts, guides, decluttering techniques, all of this. I'm so excited. But emphasizing calm and ease and simple beauty and creating a home that restores and inspires and comforts you every single day. I feel like that moment of overwhelm that I had on the steps the other week has just led to so much. Gentle well-being, which covers mindfulness, stress relief rituals, menopause and midlife comfort strategies, nothing medical, but perhaps things that have worked for us. Self-care routine, sharing stories that might help each other. And that's where we all jump on together. The third pillar is authentic connection. There's just this desire for authentic connection is palpable. Shared experiences, supportive community in this together. So for this, we'll have virtual meetups every month, monthly Q&A sessions, safe spaces for vulnerability and mutual encouragement, as well as special guests, live speakers, not this first month, and hopefully in-person meetups as well. And then the fourth and final pillar, seasonal rhythms. So why is this important? Because when we covered the book Wintering by Catherine May in the Cozy Nook Book Club, which will also be returning to the Homebody Companion, it was so clear that the message in that book was really powerful. And it was about leaning into what can be difficult months in the winter. But you know, some people find the summer months tricky as well. So this is about leaning into seasonal rhythms, seasonal recipes, eating the seasons, kitchen inspiration, nourishing again from the inside out, gentle gardening projects, getting ready, prepping, outdoor connection ideas. You know, I've been outside so much, and I think that was where Tales from the Table came from. It was almost like a subconscious outdoor connection idea that I wanted to share with you in case you had people coming over. It's all sort of full circle. It all meets, and it's only now that I'm really realizing just how it's all fitting together. So this is launching next Sunday. So I'll give you some more details next week, but I'm excited, and I'll leave it there. But I just feel very warm, and I don't feel overwhelmed by any of this because it's so planned and calm and calming, and it's like welcoming you home. So now I need to ask your advice on something. So this is my front door. You'll know this front door. We've had many chats here. I planted seeds for the summer here. And I mentioned at the start of the year that I would be sort of focusing on this area here. So I planted the honeysuckle and the hollyhocks right by the front door, and I had my snowball viburnum over here, and it's all going really well. And the windows on the outside need some attention, and these posts here that hold up the porch need some attention, but it's one of my most favourite spaces. And so part of this little project is the front door itself. I'm going to change the colour of it, and I wanted to ask your opinion on what colour it should be. It's a lovely front door. I love it. It's the door to a cottage, but I'm just not keen on this colour. I love the brickwork. I love the surround. I love the flowers and the plants that have been planted either side. So I'm going to give you 4 options to choose from. I'll obviously be using heritage colours, but the colour palettes I'm thinking about are green, blue, pink, and neutral. So the green would be a very soft, gentle green, not a British racing green. That's not right for this space. The blue would be a softer blue. I'm trying to think of a shade that you might know, but maybe that's part of this process. You could help me with that. But it wouldn't be a navy blue, for instance. Pink, it wouldn't be a candy pink. I don't know, maybe salmon? That's the tricky one. And I'm almost certain, actually I'm pretty certain that it's not going to be that. I've used setting plaster in the deli. I don't want to use that. I've used pink ground in the new shop. I don't want to use that. Gosh, it's hard because I'm not a pink door type of person. Now the neutral, I don't want to go down the sort of stone colour, something too grey. What I wanted to think about was something almost a cross between butter and cream. So not as white as cream, but not as yellow as butter. And I'm hoping that you know the perfect shade and the perfect make of paint and you can send me in the right direction. Remember though, there are some criteria. This front door has to look good in the springtime, in the summer, in the autumn, so surrounded by pumpkins, at Christmas, depending on the type of Christmas wreath I have, and the decorations outside at that time. It has to work with all the seasons, and this does. This absolutely does. Now I'm talking about it, I feel like I should leave it. This is why I have sat on this for about 3 years. And I need your help. Leave a comment with what colour you think I should paint the door in. And I thank you in advance. So this area at the front of the house is doing really, really well. So the honeysuckle is doing brilliantly, but I've got these 2 hollyhocks here and I don't think they're getting enough light. So I'm going to cut this lemon balm. I've got some more lemon balm over there somewhere. Can't see it, but I've got loads of it. It's like mint. It goes crazy. It takes over. And I don't need this lemon balm. I've made lots of tea. You saw that I made the lemon balm tea couple of weeks ago. It's growing inside this little bed here and through the brickwork. It is invasive, but I'm going to dry these leaves and save them so they won't go to waste, but I don't really want them here. The smell is incredible, but I won't miss it. It's naughty. It's really easy to dry lemon balm leaves where you tie them together in fairly small bunches, I would say like that. So they're not all grouped together because then you are more likely to get more moisture there and they take longer to dry and they don't dry as well. I would tie that like that together and hang it upside down. I've got about, I would say about 6 or 7 bunches here. So they take between sort of a week to maybe 3 to 4 weeks to dry. And you know that they're dry when they're crumbly. If they're still quite sort of malleable and soft, then leave them. So just maybe pinch at the bottom. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Lemon balm tea, I made it the other week with freshly picked leaves. That's best. That's best. It's not going to be as bitter, but using dried leaves is still just as good. It's good for your tummy. It's good for calming. We're all into calming our nervous system around here. And it's lovely at night time. So as part of a bedtime ritual, which we will of course be incorporating into our Homebody Companion Club. Just been cutting my lemon balm. I'm so pleased with this honeysuckle. When I first planted it, I couldn't work with these tendrils at all. And we're almost there. I keep coming outside, and as they get longer and longer, I sort of tuck them very gently underneath the windowsill here. And then once they're sitting comfortably here, I will of course attach them to the wall, not attach these to the wall, but pop something here on the brickwork, not so that it damages it or anything, but so that it just sort of gently trains it up and along. But this is really just your cue to grab a honeysuckle if you can, because they do really well and they're vigorous if you sort of take care of them and keep an eye on them. And I can't wait for this to start flowering. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Just the bees, saving the bees. Do you follow Erica, the bee lady? Oh, love her. I just love her. There's so many ferns growing not only in the flower beds but in the woods that surround the cottage, and they come back year after year after year, even if I cut them down. So I like to use them in flower arrangements, certainly for the table. Sometimes I just use the fern leaves, and sometimes I add flowers with them, like the Annabelle hydrangea, so you get that wonderful mix of white and green. But today, as the Annabelle isn't quite ready yet, I'm just using the leaves. It's nearly ready though. It's very exciting. I think this recipe is faintly ridiculous, actually, and I was tempted not to share it. But if you've never had chicory, gorgonzola, date and walnut, and I didn't tell you about it, just wouldn't be fair. It's the most ridiculously easy recipe. Get 1 chicory leaf to act as a carrier, and then we're going to add a chopped piece of pitted medjool date, a generous piece of gorgonzola just on the top, and then a halved walnut. And that's it. It bothers me when people don't share recipes that are that simple, yet that delicious, because they don't think they're worth it. I think sometimes we mistake complexity for expertise. Simple is very often the best, especially when it comes to taste. Pear also works very well with the gorgonzola and the chicory. Fig as well, later on in the season. Oh. I think one of the wickedest things that the ultra-processed food industry has done is to dull our taste buds. When you're making foods that combine huge amounts of that highly addictive combination of sugar and fat, you think you're satiated, you think you're full, but your taste buds have been completely ignored. But the taste buds are the guardians of our body. They're there for such an important reason. Yes, to taste and to taste pleasure, but also to taste poison. But that food industry have tricked our taste buds into thinking their poison is nectar. What happens then is that if you do get some really tasty fresh food, invariably people don't like it. So if someone were to eat this chicory leaf with the date, the gorgonzola and the walnut, they might hate it. This is food at its best. Combinations of flavours all put together, and that wonderful alchemy that we should know as delicious food. I know that we're all really busy and we can't all cook from scratch, but just knowing that our taste buds, our own taste buds, have been taken against our will is enough. I simply will not have a part of my body taken against my will, and neither should you. So good. It's June in the English countryside, which means it's strawberry season. That can mean only one thing. It's time for Eton Mess. This is my version of it. It's not wildly different, don't worry. It just has a tiny something that elevates something that's already perfect. Set aside about 5 strawberries and chop them into little pieces like that. Sprinkle a tablespoon of caster sugar over the top of those strawberries, along with a dash of vanilla extract. Give it all a good stir and allow them to macerate in the sugar, and set them aside for a moment. Okay, it's time to assemble our Eton Mess. Meringue on the bottom. I'm using the small ones. Then strawberries. Then cream. Then the macerated strawberries with the sugar syrup. And to finish, another sprinkling of meringue. You wouldn't think it, but the vanilla in the strawberries, just exquisite. Summer's here. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm just so glad the sun's back. But this week has been lovely, with birthdays, progress made on the Companion Club, that's launching in a week. My voice went wobbly there. But have a wonderful weekend, whatever you're doing. I hope it's sunny where you are, and I hope you get to relax and decompress from the week. I hope you're reading a good book, or you've found an amazing place to walk. Whatever it is that brings you joy and peace, I hope that you're able to do that this weekend. Have an amazing week. I'm sending lots of love. Bye.